Hello and welcome back to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3, where we're ready to get ourselves into the second game between the sides of Vega Squadron and Virtus.Pro Polar and Draskell. Game 1, we assumed it would not be as stompy as that.
Well, we did assume there was going to be a lot of fighting, and
yes, there was.
It was just that the fighting was very one-sided in favor of Vega. Now, we're in the second draft. And this is the one that I think is the most important to keep in mind, is to actually ban gyro this time.
Yes.
So I was speaking with 8mother between games, and we talked about how it's weird to pick Undying when Gyrocopter and Wisp are both available. Like, VP prioritizes it so highly as to just first pick it. So again, they've got their hands on the Undying, but they take out the gyro this time, and they've also taken out Chen and DK, which negates a lot of Vega's deathballing potential, which I think kind of took them off guard maybe a bit. Like just how strong their team actually was at just straight up fighting and taking all the control away from them after the first like 10 minutes had already passed. So I'm inclined to agree with 8mother. I think the draft is a lot more solid this time from VP. It's not as one-dimensional. You don't just have to win your lanes or lose the game. So I'm a fan. Yeah,
indeed. And if they do decide to run it in a situation where the Bristleback and Undying are on the same lane, that's a nasty lane. A very nasty lane. Vega, though, well, they're getting the heroes they like, as we were saying. Beastmaster has managed to find his way towards Mag. Solo, again, going to be on that IO, and now with the Bane pickup for the side of Vega Squadron. So still just looking for their mid laner and their safe laner. The side of VP Polar, they pick up their solo laner, and it is going to be a clockwork, so potentially going to be the Leshrac support this game, or do you think they'll run it core in the mid lane and or Bristleback in the middle? How are they going to work this round with this Bristleback and the clockwork?
I think it's maybe more Leshrac core. Like Bristleback can still farm in this lineup too, because you could just put Leshrac mid, right?
Yeah.
And then you can put Bristleback safe lane, and no, actually, because then they would have clockwork and Undying. So maybe it's just support Undying and not just like off lane position. Yeah, they could still put Bristle off lane or clock off lane, doesn't matter. And then like core Bristleback is still pretty decent right now. And Vega, their answer to this is going to be Storm. Not a lot of lockdown on the side of VP Polar in the way of locking down a Storm, who is one of the more slippery heroes in the game. So picking maybe a bit more for the mid to late game with the Storm. I do like it though, because after a certain point, if VP Polar haven't taken away a tremendous amount of control from Vega, then you're going to have a Storm that is almost unkillable. Like, nothing on that team deals with Storm, unless your Clockwork gets like an Orchid or something clowny like that, or you get a Hex up. So there is potential for the Storm Spirit to have a very nice game.
The final ban for the side of VP Polar, they're going to ban out the Phantom Lancer. I don't think, is that a hero that we've seen Vega play before?
It is actually very good against VP's draft for the same kind of reason. The Storm is pretty good. He's hard to lock down. And also, once you get the Fusel Blade, he completely crushes Leshrac and Bristleback and Undying, even Clockwork. Like, he actually just smashes all of them if he's able to get to like Diffusal Manta or something like that, and you haven't already gotten a lot out of this. So I do like the way that VP are approaching this. They're taking a pretty fight-oriented style, but I don't have anything against fighting. Like, I'm always going to be a fan of watching games go crazy, but now looking at what their last hero is going to be, I was still kind of leaning towards Leshrac mid, but I don't know if G plays the hero. So maybe it is just support Leshrac, support Undying. We will find out, though.
Well, indeed, with this final pick. And I like the final ban from Vega, because I was thinking a hero that VP might have wanted to pick up, if it was going to be a core Leshrac and they still needed a support, Disruptor would have been very nice, not just against the Storm, but of course also against the IO in these situations.
Yeah, I think maybe another hero that can add to the siege a bit for VP. Like, if they wanted to pick something for G, I think maybe SF is a little bit too greedy. They're going to go Skywrath Mage, so it is going to be farming Lesh.
Okay, and in terms of the lanes that are going to come out, do you think, would they run the Lesh Undying Skywrath Mage on the aggressive and leave the Bristleback on his own, or will they put the Lesh mid, you feel, and run just dual lanes? Or?
They definitely could go aggro to punish the Wisp, but it depends on where the Wisp is. Like, for instance, if they put Bristleback mid, and then they put the Skywrath with that, that's an insanely strong dual lane, and I think Vega are going to want to try to prioritize getting their Storm a decent start, because if he gets ahead, he's going to have a great time against these types of heroes. Skywrath is kind of an answer to the Storm, even after level 6 because of Ancient Seal, but it becomes very difficult if the Storm gets too far ahead. So I feel VP Polar now, they do have the answer to the Storm Spirit in a way, but I think that VP Polar's lanes might actually be better this game. Like, better in comparison to what they were last game.
Yes. Yeah, we'll see what Vega are able to pick up here to finish off their lineup. They do still need that position 1 hero here, of course, for 9 Pasha. And recently, I think we've seen most of the games, he does get his hands on the Gyrocopter. Obviously, with that being taken away from him straight off, it'll be interesting to see what he does opt for instead this game. I mean, can you think back any heroes that we've seen Pasha on other than the Gyro?
I was just going to say Lifestealer. God, I should have said it. I was like thinking, man, Lifestealer is actually really good against this team. Because they're all melee, like except for the Sky and the Lesh, but those ones are less important. It's like if you get hook shot, you can just rage and just hit the clockwork inside of it, unless he gets force staff, but that's quite a ways down the line. He's just very good at going in against this type of very meat wally kind of team where you have 3 melee strength heroes who are going to be frontlining for the side of VP. So unfortunate that I didn't get my prediction out in time. But with the Wisp partner as well, it's something that helps you close the gap. You can triple relocate, so you can infest into the Storm, or you can infest into the Beastmaster, relocate in. You have 3 hero gank. It's very, very good map control as well. And with the Beastmaster assistance by having Hawk out, Vega do have very good aggressive potential this game.
Indeed. We're just going to have a quick pause here before we get into this match. And in terms of lanes then from Vega, we can obviously expect something a little bit more standard with the Lifestealer, the Eye and the Bane heading towards the safe lane, the Beastmaster on your off and the Storm in the mid. And it'll be interesting to see how VP respond to this. Are they looking for any kind of specific lane matchups, do you feel, with this draft that they want to go head on head with?
I think the biggest thing is shut down the Storm.
Yeah.
Like, if you can keep the Storm from having a good early game, then Vega's lineup is not going to have quite that same hit level 6 and just crush as they did in the previous game. So VP could very easily just send Bristleback mid with the Sky. I think that's pretty legit. Then you have Leshrac Undying safe lane, still very good, and then Clockwork off. So if Vega decided to put the Beastmaster in a solo lane, then you're going to have the Beastmaster against the Undying Lesh, which obviously your safe lane's going to do fine. You'd have Bristle Sky mid. The Sky can single-handedly zone the Storm in the first place. And then you have Clockwork versus what? A Wisp, Lifestealer, Bane lane? Like, yeah, it's okay. But the only way that Clockwork ever dies is if he gets Nightmared during his cog. And then they like are able to loop around on him and then kill him that way. So we'll see if they decide to go for the 2-1-2 or if they go for tri-lane.
Indeed. I mean, with the Lifestealer, obviously one of those heroes that we don't see that much. Is there still very much the potential to go for the fights as early as Vega have been doing, or do you need to kind of sit back and play it a bit safer with a Lifestealer in the laning stage?
No, you can still fight. Yeah. There's no real reason for you to sit back if your team has Relocate ready and your Storm and your Beastmaster are good to go. The thing that's cool about Lifestealer is during the mid game, your rage duration is normally enough to be able to kill a hero most of the time, because you're going to be adding a lot of extra damage. Vega are going to be looking to fight together with like 3 or 4, maybe not taking a full-fledged team fight, but they are going to be looking for the jump all the time, and having a vessel to invest into like that Storm Spirit or any hero that basically gets tethered in is awesome for a Lifestealer.
Okay, and we'll get the game underway between these two sides. The second game here of this 2-game series. First game, as we saw, very confidently going to the side of Vega. We'll see if VP are able to give them a bit more of a fight than they did in game 1. On the side of Vega, oh yeah, just throwing weapons off there. On the side of Vega, we're going to see Seam of the Slayer on the Bane. It will be no one on his Storm Spirit. There's also going to be Solo once again on the IO. This time 9 Pasha, he'll be on the Lifestealer, and that finally leaves on this offlane Mag on his tried and tested Beastmaster. I'm ODPixel, I'm here joined by Draskell. Draskell, what are we seeing from VP?
Well, first off here, we're going to have Illidan Storm Rage. He's going to be playing on that Bristleback towards middle lane. We're going to have Leshrac. It's going to be handled by G. Phobos playing on the Clockwork. Lil playing the Skywrath Mage. And then last but not least, FNG playing the Undying.
30 seconds to battle.
Okay, and we'll see both sides head towards this top rune here. It looks like the side of VP are in a little bit more of a stronger position to take it. And Vega, they might be able to nab themselves this bottom rune. Mag, he's got the boar available to send out and scout with, just to see what he's up against. It is just this Bristleback here at the moment on the bottom, so.
Just some rune contention going on from both teams. Pretty standard stuff. We'll see the lanes really take shape after that.
G will be able to secure himself there, top rune there for the mid lane, and bottom lane, Solo gets himself his, just to help him on the little bit of funding towards that bottle. We are going to have a pause, unfortunately. Bit of lag coming out for the Storm Spirit. And we're ready to get ourselves back on with the show. And Virtus.Pro versus Vega. Game 1 wasn't as even as we expected it to be. Maybe we'll see a little bit more balance in this game. I mean, do you feel that VP's draft is stronger than it was in the first game, going against what Vega have got?
Relative to what they had last game, I don't know if it's necessarily stronger, but there's more room for error. So VP's last draft, if they fail the lanes, they automatically lose the game. Like, just straight up, you can't fight. You can't ever do anything. And it was showcased by how hard Vegas stomped. Because once they had split, Dragon Form, Call Down, all that stuff, there was no way they could do anything. So this game, they do have a lot more room for mistakes. And in a way, I feel that does make it a better draft.
As the lanes do decide to settle, we are seeing this this safe lane tri-lane, with Bristleback, of course, being played by Illidan on that core position, supported up by both the Scarif and Mag. He's really giving it some hit to Lil. Lil's trading hits, but the Scarif is coming off a little bit worse in these trades.
Well, I mean, you're trading 0 armor against a Beastmaster who has 4, so yeah, you're definitely not going to get the effective trade that you're looking for. And the other thing, too, is they will be able to control the lane a bit, but Mag just relentless here.
He's got the axes as well. This could very much be a kill there. The axes come out, and
oh god,
this is it's the beginning of why you don't give Mag Beastmaster, because he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, but to be honest, that was just such a misplay. Like, why would you stick around that long when you're already so low on health? He's just overestimating his movement speed. Like, he's 325, but Beastmaster has boots, so I'm not sure.
Very close stun there. It's a Storm Spirit was able to just juke it, but G on this mid lane, Leshrac having a very nice time against the Storm, being able to harass him back out and coming out just on top of the CS here.
Yeah, farming Lesh is actually very hard to deal with. Lightning Storm bounces a ton, and the bounce range is actually huge. So you can get free harass and CS at the same time. It's very similar to laning like a Death Prophet, for example. But this one is actually easier to land, because you don't have to actually line it up. As long as he's near the creep, he'll get hit.
Yeah, we see both cores on either side getting pretty much free farm at the moment. Lifestealer and Bristleback having a great time in the lane. Both of the offlane, it's just being unable really to harass them back. Understandable, obviously, for the offlane of VP is up against a Bane. One of the heroes that's going to be very good at holding him back from the creep wave and keeping Phobos out of the action. And again, in the bottom lane, even though your Scarif Mage is throwing away his life, he's drawing the attention away from the Bristleback. So. And, I mean, I guess as the game goes on, Bristleback versus Lifestealer, who comes out on top at, individual portions of the game in terms of the mid-game and the late game in your eyes?
I think it depends on if the Lifestealer is ahead or not in farm. Like, if the Lifestealer has a ton of item progression and he's ahead of the Bristleback, then you can kind of chew through him. But if the Bristleback gets too tanky, he just kites you out, runs around in circles, and eventually your rage will wear off. And ideally, you don't want to be focusing the Bristleback a lot of the time anyway. Like Wisp and Bane, or even the Beastmaster, are much... or no, sorry, wrong team. The Leshrac or the Skyraptor are much better targets, ideally. Like, Undying is okay. But
look at this mid lane. G just forcing no one right back. Look at the aggression for
he's
Leshrac.
dead.
He's got a second lightning, and that's going to do it. The G on this mid Lesh being incredibly legit. Seema will come in with the TP rotation. There'll be IO as well. He's got a... well, he hasn't got the mana for the Brain Sap here. And FNG rotating means that Vega can't do anything against this, and they are just going to have to back themselves off. They really can't look for any kind of kills. And, well, yeah, G having a fantastic start on this Leshrac, causing a lot of issues here for the side of Vega.
The people really underestimate how good of a hero this actually was in the middle lane. Like, no one really gets Edict anymore, just because how strong of a tool Lightning Storm has become. I mean, it's 75% movement speed slow, and I think it's like almost a full second, or it is a full second actually at max rank, so it almost always is able to line up your stun. And with the solo kill on bottom lane, Vega are still feeling okay, I think. The Lifestealer is maintaining pretty consistent farm with the safe lane Bristleback.
Lil could be in trouble here. The slows from the balls coming in. Seema's got himself a double damage. Lil will try and TP. The damage is far too much. And that is once again Lil getting caught out of position there on the bottom lane.
Yeah, that was painful. I mean, double damage rune, not really the thing that you're looking for if you were that poor Skywrath Mage. And yeah, he's actually both of his team's deaths right now. So I would actually say that Mag has gotten way more out of this lane than maybe he should have. He's getting zoned, but he's still level 3, which isn't too bad.
And we saw Seema there just trying to find a Nightmare onto FNG, but he's a little bit too speedy. He gets himself back up to the high ground. And, I mean, as well as the Leshrac is doing in the mid lane, I guess once the 6 is on the Storm, it's going to be a lot harder for him to solo kill no one.
Oh, you won't be able to.
Yeah.
There's like no way. You need like maybe a clockwork hook into a stun that might be able to kill. But Phobos is still quite a ways away from that level 6 mark, and still a little bit ahead of Mag though. Just barely.
Yeah, he is in fact in terms of XP. The CS as well, actually going better for the clock. So even though this kill has been found and the assist by Mag, Phobos finding just that little bit more from the lane in terms of experience.
Things still kind of quiet here in the early game. No one really going for too much aggression. Lifestealer and the Bristleback still farming at about the same rate. Lifestealer going to be opting for the Midas, pretty standard stuff on him. And Illidan going for the straight-up Vanguard. So I think in terms of fighting, VP are probably going to be the ones to pressure sooner rather than later.
Okay.
I think that if the game goes super late, the Storm is going to be very tough for them to cope with. and that in conjunction with the Lifestealer being able to get in for free, it's a very potent combo. So I do think once Phobos has level 6, once your Bristleback has his Vanguard up, you're going to start seeing some movement out of VP.
They're going to try and go in on Phobos here now. He's already used the cogs. They know that he hasn't got it to use defensively, but there will be a TP reaction coming from G here on the left track. We'll find the lightning slow. Can he be able to get himself in range for the stun? No, he cannot. They might lose Solo here, though. Tombstone's been dropped by FNG now. Solo's just going to tether himself away, and at the end of the day, that's just a Tombstone wasted, unfortunately, for VP.
Well, I mean, it's not really too big of a deal that the Tombstone was dropped. It was more just like trying to get the rune. But FNG is still at level 3, maybe not having the greatest game of his life. And everything considered, like, this Storm is still doing very well. Like, he did die in a 1v1, but he's still farming. Like, he's still 6 CS ahead of G.
Oh, and here we go, straight away in. But the damage from G, look at it, turning it around. They might be able to bring down Solo. He will indeed pop. And they take down the IO, and don't underestimate Leshrac there with the ultimate. It's a lot of damage, especially for these squishier heroes like the IO.
That's 100 damage a second at level 1. That's insane. Like, it's just 75 damage that you take every single second that you're around the hero. So it's insane. Very, very strong hero in general. And for now, things quieting down again. Just looking like most teams, or both teams, just want to farm. Like, everyone in this game is kind of getting a good amount of CS, right? Like, both safe laners are farming well. No lanes are really being contended as much as we're just seeing ganks happen.
Yeah, Mag, of course, still just trying to find his way to the level 6. He's closing in on that 1,000, which he'll obviously pick up the staff of Wizardry, and we'll see him go straight for that Necro. But the question is, what kind of timing will we see him get today? We normally see him get the pre-20-minute Necro level 3. I believe the other day he managed to hit it at about 17 minutes. So.
Did they smoke under the sword?
Oh.
If they can get the silence, they can definitely kill.
And then they get it, they go in and they've got it. Yeah, no one is, he's going down, he will pop the charges. Oh, he actually did, what?
He dodged the stun. He dodged the stun.
Oh,
what a player.
Very lucky to get away there. Very nice play there from no one, saving himself from what really did look like imminent death.
The lightning range is just slightly longer than stun range, so I think G actually had to walk forward after his lightning landed, which in turn allowed no one to juke it out a little bit. So very nice that they did not end up losing the Storm there.
No, Solo just continuing to make these stacks here in the jungle for his team. Vanguard has now been picked up by Illidan on this Bristleback, and Lifestealer now has got the face boots on top of the Midas. With the obviously level 6 now online for the Lifestealer as well. They might begin to look for the rotations. They've got the Primal Roar on Mag as well, so he can set up these relocates. IO himself, how are we seeing in terms of level on Solo? Is he touching upon 6 fairly shortly? He's not quite reached level 5, so it's still going to be a few minutes until the level 6 is online. But once that's online, that's the time that VP have got to be very, very prepared for the action coming out from Vega.
Well, not only that, but VP don't just lose out because of the relocate. It's more like both teams kind of need their level 6. And even if Lil gets level 6 and you have the hook shot into Mystic Flare, that combination is also very strong. It's just the supports are kind of understated right now on VP because they haven't been able to do much, which is another reason why I thought they might dual lane, so the supports actually get more. But instead they go for the defensive tri-lane, they get some pulls done, but it's still going to be a while before I think the Undying or the Skywrath really contribute much for VP.
Well, Illidan, 69 CS at the moment on the board compared to the 65 of Lifestealer. Both safe laners pretty much being left totally alone here, because we've seen all the action happening around the mid lane, normally looking for any kind of rotation towards the side lanes, but now, looks like VP, they're ready to change that. They want to try and do something about this Lifestealer's farm, and they've got 4 heroes making a beeline straight for it, and indeed, if they can find the hook connection, maybe this is an almost in terms of a kill.
Hook into a silence is a kill for sure. Oh no, he missed. Oh god, that's the second gank in a row where they commit a lot and they just don't get anything at all. That is so painful, especially considering right now there's a huge stack being taken inside of the woods. So this could have been time they were using to kill, where Vega would not have been able to respond to it at all. And off of that, Vega, they acquire level 6 on their Wisp, and relocate is ready.
Indeed, and we'll see what they're able to go for here. Still top lane, they've just left TK Phobos to continue to find XP against the clock. The rest of the team on VP rotating towards the mid lane, looking to pressure this tier 1 here. We'll see if Vega are ready to do anything in return.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And it's kind of tense right now because the first relocate gank is also going to have Roar if they want to bring the Beastmaster in. So what they could do is they could TP 2 heroes top, get an Infest, and then relocate with the Lifestealer inside the Beastmaster, and then just boom. That hero is like 100% dead. There's almost no way you can save him. But they could also be happy with the way the lanes are working out right now because Mag's getting farm. Like, he's just chilling in his bottom lane. He's got his staff up. He's got 1,200 gold on top of that. He is on course for his 20-minute Necro 3 that he seems to be able to get every game.
He certainly is. He's been totally left to his own devices, and he's absolutely loving it. Still 11 minutes in. The net worth between the individual heroes looking fairly even, and I imagine the graph will be the same. It's a very, yeah, it's only about 500. It's pretty much bang on in between these two sides. So it just kind of feels like it's going to be very much decided on when the first big fight kicks off, and we're still really kind of yet to see that. Only the kind of little bit of positioning errors from either side, throwing away the occasional kill.
Yeah, I think no one is happy farming in this state, though. Like, no one can really pressure him that much. And the only way he can die is if the Skywrath comes in with a seal, but they do have a high ground ward, so he knows exactly where that Skywrath mage is residing right now, and that makes him just feel incredibly safe. And even if Seema is kind of struggling here, only level 4, he's still going to be able to, like, even a Nightmare on top of a Silence can save your teammate for like 1 or 2 extra seconds to make sure that they're not taking damage during that time, so he could just bail out the storm if anything were to be happening. But still, I gotta say, like, I'm worried that VP aren't really doing enough. Like, with a Bristleback, you do want to kind of fight. Like, with the Lifestealer and a Storm on the other team, and a Beastmaster, we've seen how Mag transitions into one of those core roles, and it is dangerous to let the game just go on like this without doing much.
It really isn't. Pash's farm continues to look very healthy. He's closing in on the drums of endurance, and they do begin to beat down onto that top tower, forcing out the fortification. And they should be able to maybe take that one down with the next push. DK Phobos here, heading into the jungle with an Invis and a double damage. This is a very potent combo, and I think, is he able to do anything here? See with the Slayer? Nope, he's not. That's going to be a very nice and easy kill there for Phobos there with 2 very lucky rune pickups.
Mag was trying to look for a counterplay there, but he's not able to find anything. Does have his book 1 though. Now looks like the middle tier 1 under pressure here from the side of VP. They get it, no contention whatsoever. And I think the play here from VP, or excuse me, from Vega is to trade.
Yep, they're going to look to commit here onto this top tier 1. There'll be a TP back from the Undying, and now from the rest of the side. They want to fight into this one. Phobos, indeed, he's going to hook straight in onto Solo. Solo's in a lot of trouble. Pash gets caught in there as well. Pash is going to try and fight through it onto Phobos. He's lost his IO, and now 4 members on the side of VP here. Pasha, he's almost, yeah, he goes down. He absolutely melts. There's the damage of VP, and that's 2 very nice pickoffs, and they even protect the tower there, keeping it alive in the top lane. So Vega, well, just a little bit aggressive there with the pushing.
I like the fact that they were just on point with the Silence, like spamming it on top of the Lifestealer, knowing that he wanted to go for the Infest. So VP definitely on point with the rotation. I'm glad they decided to start moving around, because when you have Clockwork Hook, Mystic Flare now available as well, Undying Bristleback, like, this team is made to fight. And sure, Bristleback late game is okay, but it's not going to be quite up to snuff when you have a Storm and a Lifestealer in Vegas. So looking to see VP doing more of the same in terms of aggression. And
they're looking for Illidan here, and they've got 3 heroes. They've got the Roar. They don't have Fiend's Grip available. There's going to be a relocate in, though, from Pasha and Solo, and that should be enough, and it will be enough to bring down the Bristleback there. So a very
I think he got
there.
part of the stack as well, right? Or did Illidan get those? It's hard to tell between the colors, because Storm is light blue and Illidan's teal. So I didn't actually see who got the majority of the stack. But Orchid going to be done here soon on the Storm, most likely around 2 or 3 minutes.
Is the fight going to kick off? There's 3 here on the side of Vega, 4 here on the side of VP that go straight onto the Skywrath. They do bring him down before he's able to throw out anything. Phobos has got a hook, will go onto the Bane, traps him in the cogs with a battery cell as well. Seema goes for a defensive nightmare, but it's not going to be enough to protect him. He goes down, and it'll end up being a 1-for-1 trade there. Can Pasha find anything else? He's got the open wounds. Does he want to try and chase Phobos? No, he doesn't. He wants to go for FNG. He's trying to look for safety behind this tier 1. No one's ready to die for it as well. Mag is there, doesn't have the Primal Roar back off cooldown again. And they will take the tower here, the side of Vega. Still 20 odd seconds before that's out. And there's going to be a TP in from Illidan. Illidan maybe seeing if he can fight on to Pasha as Clockwork coming in with a rotation. Can he block this one off? No, we can't. No, sorry, not Clockwork. It was just the Eye rotating in there to help out the Lifestealer. They do get themselves out, and they do get this tier 1.
It's really nice movement so far from Vega. They get that tower for sure. I mean, their team is going to scale better into the late game. That's really the big picture that we're trying to paint here for both, is you don't want to go late game against Storm with the lineup that VP have. And I do think that in general, the Bristleback will eventually lose out to the Lifestealer as well. So you're relying on G to kind of carry a lot of the weight during the late game as well, which isn't too bad, but Lifestealer is very good at being able to eat through those heroes that rely on just magical damage output and don't have a huge amount of base armor in general. Plus, he did get kind of a buff, Feast being able to cleave and crit now. I don't know if we're going to see like Daedalus. I very rarely see Lifestealers pick up the item, but it is on the table. As now we're seeing bottom lane pushed in here from VP.
Now it's going to be Lightning Star onto Pasha. They throw out a bit of goo. Pasha just keeping his distance. And it's going to be the tier 1 here going down for the side of VP. So more money in their pockets. Mac finding the space in the mid lane and indeed working towards that Crow 3, which is going to be pretty soon again for the Beastmaster this game.
I don't know how he does it, man. He's a magician.
No one goes in for the tower, but Bristleback will find the tower deny there. Very nicely done from Illidan. And Storm will back himself off Lil. Smoked up here with Phobos. They've got the hook shot available. Mystic Flare, of course, is now online as well. Do they catch anyone? They're going to go straight into the Dire Jungle, see what they find. They haven't got any vision in, so they're going in totally blind. They might find Mag here. Mag would be a very nice kill. He's been doing very well so far this game. The Ancient Seal, the Mystic Flare, the hook shot, all enough to bring him down there. And they do bring down Mag on the Beastmaster. And, oh, Seema the Slayer. He's a little bit of no man's territory here as they do throw down the Tombstone here for the low ground of FNG. And, well, with the Ancient Seal and Phobos rotating in, I don't think there's anywhere for this Bane to run. They'll just follow him down with the right click, so pop the charges and looks for the defensive Nightmare. Oh, maybe for the Nightmare denied, but it's not going to be there. He does end up going down to the Undying. And that's another pick off for VP, and, well, Vega slowly being taken apart here.
Yeah, I think those wards are also going to get just, like, immediately dewarded. And that is unfortunate, because there's only one real reason that you're over there by yourself, right? You're dropping wards. So at some point, VP are going to just be like, ah, maybe he warded on the hill, or maybe he warded the Ancients. And when he sees, because you can just buy one set of sentries and probably check both spots with relative ease, that they're going to get that map vision back. So it's good for them. VP counter-pressuring mid-tier 2. No contention coming out from Vega at all. And VP looking a lot more solid in this game as they were in previous games.
We are 17.5 minutes in now, and Storm has got his Orchid complete.
Yep.
9 Pashes, item progressions is going pretty damn nicely as well. Looking for that armlet on top of the drums.
Yeah, he's got it already. He just has to send it out. So armlet, Orchid together. The teamfight potential from Vega is getting a lot scarier. I'm not sure entirely if, like, VP... Oh, nice. That's a good pickup, actually. Halberd for the Bristleback. Obviously very good against a Lifestealer when you know that you don't really want to try to fight him. Like, you don't want to face him if you're Bristleback. You always just want to run away. And then if he's tunnel visioning somebody else, Rage wears off, you just disarm him. It's also very good against Storm because a lot of the damage the Storm deals is through Overload. So not being able to get that extra slow off between every single spell and that additional, I think it's like, what, it's 90 magic damage? Yeah, it's a big deal.
I'm Pasha. Will back himself out of the jungle there. We're going to have a quick pause. No one is making his way down towards this bottom lane, as we can see. Smoked up as well, so we might see Pasha jump into the Storm here, and maybe they look for a bit of action, Vega, if they wanted to zip on someone.
Yeah, they can fight. Like, both teams have very good fighting potential. I'd say VP in a 5 versus 5, maybe a tiny bit favored, but it all comes down to coordination. Like, who gets the better targets or who gets the better jump. I think G, his Bloodstone being finished already, him also having 1,400 gold, like, his damage output in fights is going to be insane. If they don't burn him down, he's going to pretty much wipe them, I think. But they do have Orchid on the Storm, so I imagine he probably just goes for Lil. Like, goes in, Orchid's the Skywrath, kills him, and then there's no more threat for him in a team fight unless he eats like a stray stun. So Vega do have a counterplay, but VP's 5-man is still very potent.
We're just going to just have an extra minute. There's pings been drawn out and done here by FNG. Yeah, indeed, they are aware that that ward is there on the high ground as it gets pinged out and circled out here by FNG. So they'll almost certainly look to deward that one. So as soon as they can, G will be called by no one and we'll get ourselves back underway. Are we going to see a Lifestealer bomb here coming out? We are indeed, straight into no one. Let's see if Stormspirit's able to achieve anything. They do have that aggressive dire ward in the jungle. And, G's on his own. Yeah, with the Orchid, there's nowhere for this Leshrac to run. The open wound's slowing him down as well.
No suicide? Interesting.
And they might find the trade here. Vega, Seema the Slayer, being ancient sealed up with the Roar onto Lilin with this Necro book as well. They should be able to find the Scarf Mage. They will do indeed. Phobos looking for some kind of potential with a hook shot. Seema the Slayer's just going to run. The Tombstone was dropped by Undying. As soon as they're just going to look to turn around, remove that zombie. There was a hook shot onto Beastmaster, but now Seema with the Fiend's Grip onto FNG, setting it up for No One and Pasha to come in. They'll find the kill. The hook shot was enough to enable G to kill Beastmaster, but it ends up being a 2-for-1 there for the side of Vega. And it's this lifesteal that's beginning to look kind of scary. When you're running a lifesteal with this Midas, obviously no one on the side of VP with Midas. Oh, Vega might lose solo here, and they will do indeed. So another kill there for the side of VP. I mean, the lifestealer's farm, it's going to be very hard to keep up with it. Even as a Leshrac doing the amount of damage structurally and in regards to heroes as well, this guy's going to be getting out of control.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Like, Pasha is going to have to be dealt with in some way. Having the Halberd is a nice step in the right direction, but you need to be able to time it, and the hero also needs to still be alive by the time the rage wears off on the lifestealers. So Ghost Scepters are, I think, a must the later the game goes if you're a VP. Like, even getting one on G wouldn't be that bad right now because the lifestealer is going to be the primary threat to you with the Storm, right? So they ball in, they go on you, they silence the Skywrath, and then they try to go for the kill. But if you have Ghost, you pretty much negate like 3/4 of the duration of the silence anyway. And it's also cheaper now to buy the Ghost Scepter. And plus, you can TP with it instead of having to have bots.
It doesn't take it off. It's definitely a potential for G. He looks for a lucky stun onto Solo. He's not going to find it. Mid lane. Oh, we're going to see them go on to Illidan. They've got a roar. They're throwing everything down on this Bristleback, trying to keep him in place. He's taking a lot of damage, and maybe it's not enough. They can't kill him. He'll get soul ripped up. He's going to be okay. They just weren't able to find themselves towards the front of the Bristol to get the full amount of damage through, and he's able to walk this one off, Illidan.
Just overestimating their damage output, I think. If they had, like, went to the front of him and then used all their spells, like, after the roar came out, I think they might have been able to kill. But the evasion from the Halberd and the Bristleback damage reduction with the Vanguard just proving to be a little bit too strong. Now VP looking at trying Roshan. This is pretty scary. They do have Hawk Vision. Oh, nice snipe from G. Gets it immediately.
Let's see if Vega want to do anything in terms of contesting it. It doesn't look like they're in a position to do so. We see Solo here on the top lane.
They would have left already if they were going to do it,
yeah.
I think.
I'm just looking to try and find as much farm as they can across the map. No one in the jungles picked up the Ochre Club, 700 gold on top of that, so looking towards a BKB for himself. And yeah, VP here will get the Roshan, and Aegis going the way of Leshrac here. G, 4 kills, 2 assists, and 1 death so far. He's been having a pretty impressive game on the Lesh.
Yeah, his only death was the Lifestealer and Festgank, so that's definitely understandable that you would die to that. No real weight for anyone on VP to get away from that except for maybe the Bristle, just on the fact that he's so damn tanky that you just can't kill him. But right now, VP still looking to be in pretty good shape here. In the next couple of team fights, I find it hard to believe that Vega are going to be able to just take it straight up 5 versus 5, but the way their lineup functions, they have Beastmaster Hawk Vision, they could just go for relocate ganks, they don't have to really go for a fight. They can just kind of be in and out, go for split push, go for these small skirmishes, and try to delay the game out to a point where their Storm is like that force to be reckoned with that he needs to be.
Oh, so Illidan finding 9 Pasha there, and was trying to chase him down, had the entirety of VP behind him, but at the same time, Lifestealer was able to run back to the rest of his side. Vega, they're all grouped up as well here in the dire jungle. And they're actually going to smoke up themselves, maybe seeing if they can re-engage onto the side of VP. Phobos, though, is going to spot them out straight away. And there's, unfortunately for the side of Vega, not going to be any way that they can make a jump onto the clock.
Yeah, that's like the least valuable hero that you want to go on. Like, Phobos is annoying if he catches you out with a silence and the hook shot, but that also relies on Lil being in the vicinity. Now, VP going to be pressuring this tier 1 here in the top lane as Vega are looking for a kill inside of the enemy woods. Now I think they're going to be pretty, well, they're going to know. There's not going to be anyone here to fight.
Indeed, it looks like Leshrac now on top of the Bloodstone. Going to go for the old Octarine.
I find it a bit interesting that he's going straight up Octarine. Like, his farm is insane, so it's fine that he's going for it, because he's going to have it very soon. But I think after that, he's going to want to go for either armor or something to get him away from the Lifestealer and the Storm. Those are the biggest threats to him, unless he has just a ton of faith in his team to be able to counterplay. Because once that Storm gets BKB, your Skywrath is not going to be able to save you with a silence anymore. And that BKB is going to be coming out in 1,000 gold, which is not that long.
We're going to see both teams look to take a tier 2. The side of VP, they've already taken the one from the top lane. Vega will get the one in return from the bottom. And VP, they look to pressure and try and force back the TPs from the side of Vega, and they will indeed come in. And the damage from G on this Leshrac doing a serious amount. They might even find a tier 3 here as well, 24 minutes in. They will indeed. Now they're onto the open racks. Can Vega do anything here to stop it? They're going to zip straight in onto Illidan. He's going to get nightmared up as well. There'll be a stun onto G, solo from G, but G actually gets taken down, but he's got the Aegis. He's ready for round 2. And VP, they're just getting forced back. There's a Fiend's Grip onto Illidan, but Vega, they've lost Pasha, and Pasha now down for 60. This is massive. They're down the Lifestealer here for a full minute. And VP looking to be in a very, very comfortable position. There'll be a Nightmare thrown out, but it doesn't matter because they toggle it off. They'll get the stun onto Seema. Now no one going back in, zipping onto G, but he's a little bit too tanky for them to do anything about at this stage. And it looks like 24 minutes in, VP will be able to get the first set of racks, and they lose nothing during taking it. This is looking very good for the side of Virtus.Pro.
Well, they did give up Aegis.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's worth it though. Like trading Aegis for racks, absolutely. I would make that trade any day of the week. That was just really interesting because the Lifestealer finished his item as they were pushing in. So when he died, he was just dead. Like he couldn't come back anymore. And not having the most farmed hero on your team available at the team fight when the enemy team is in your base, not good. Really, really not good.
Zip onto Phobos. They want to find something in return, and it looks like they might, or maybe not, with the 4-star and the 1 charges. Phobos, can he get away? No, he can't. No one is able to close the final gap and pick him off. But now 25 minutes in, Leshrac with 9 charges on his Bloodstone, and now the completed Octarine.
This is an insanely farmed Lesh. He's 5-1, 156 CS. He has got all the items, more or less. And now BKB finished on Storm, so Vega are not out of this yet. Like, being a racks down is a bit of a bummer, but it's 24 minutes in, or 25 now. So they've lasted 8 minutes longer than VP did in the first game. So to that, they can still say their Storm is scaling pretty okay. A 10-second BKB in a team fight for a Storm at this stage means he can kill whoever he wants to go on. Doesn't matter who it is. He can probably even kill the Lesh, but he's going to need the Lifestealer inside of him to do it. So I think Vega now look to be the aggressors here. I don't think playing it passively anymore is going to work. You need to try to take something away from VP if you're in this particular state.
Well, let's see a bit of a clash here as Illidan moving in close and personal here to 9 Pasha. Has the backup of this Skywrath, and well, 9 Pasha's going to get Ancient sealed up. He has got the backup of Solo here on the Aya, who will tether up to him and drag him out of that fight. He's going to be safe here for the time being. But let's have a look at the net worth graph overall. 26 minutes in. What kind of difference are we seeing? The biggest difference so far, but still, it's not massive. 3,000 for the side of VP, and in fact, the XP at the moment favoring the side of Vega. 4,000 in their favor.
Yeah, it's not always a team Raxes because of a huge lead. Sometimes it can just be a simple mistake. And I think that's what ended up happening for Vega. Like, their Lifestealer didn't have buyback. He got caught out by Cogs with his Rage on, and he just couldn't beat his way out of him before he ended up dying. So it was just a little bit of a blunder from them and nothing else. So it's still, in terms of team fights, it's very close. Maybe VP still maintain the edge because of how farm their Lesh is, and now having the Ghost Scepter on top of his Octarine, which we talked about a bit earlier, how that would be a nice pickup. The Lifestealer will no longer really be able to do anything to him. So just that item alone, it's a 1,500 gold that pretty much deletes the Lifestealer from the team fight, unless he manages to get like Diffusal.
It's looking interesting between these two sides. Vega positioned very aggressively. We saw VP there make a little bit of a trip into the Dire jungle, and look at the warding from at the side of VP. Look at the Dire. They see everything, Draskell.
Yeah, they can. The most important parts are they can see everyone leaving the base.
Oh, Storm's found this Bristleback, but what are you going to do? He's going to pop the BKB. The Roar is there. Maybe with this relocate, they do have enough damage, and it looks like they will. They'll throw down the Fiend's Grip as well. They want to make sure Illidan dies, and they do indeed take him down. They have to commit a lot, but they do kill the Bristleback at down for 45 seconds.
That is the old everything gank. That is, I'm going to drop all my ultimates no matter what, and you are going to die. And it's definitely well worth it in this situation when you're in the position that Vega are. Like, their top lane was actually getting pushed in anyway, so I think it's fine for them to go for an all-in kill because they know they'll have to eventually go back just to be able to counter-push that. So Pasha or the Storm will eventually have to go top and deal with that ever-pushing top lane. So VP still obviously in pretty good shape here. Clockwork even manages to pick up an Aghanim Scepter too. I mean,
he's pretty farmed.
He's had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
I mean, he started off a little bit quiet, but he's only died once. And then he's also got a ton of farm on top of that. So a lot of that, of course, is because his team is doing great, but just the fact that he's going to have that 12-second cooldown hook, that is such a nuisance for the heroes on Vega. Like, the only one who can really get away from that is the Storm. And no one's not farmed enough to the point where he's just a one-man wrecking ball yet.
Ooh, they're going to go on FNG here. There was the support of Lil, but it doesn't matter. FNG is already dead. No one popping the BKB. He wants to try and go for more. Illidan running in. There's going to be a TP out from Mag, and now the TP's out from everyone. No one wants to stick around here, and everyone will get themselves out here at the bottom lane. So they get themselves a free cheeky kill, and they also
courier down.
Find the courier. Didn't have anything on them, but extra little bit of gold there for the side of Vega. And now let's have a look at the lifesteal. He had a lot of money on him. Has he spent any of it so far? 3.7k gold. He's really amassing it here. What do you think he's contemplating in terms of items?
Well, I mean, Desolator isn't bad. AC is not bad. I think you focus primarily on right-click if you're in his situation, because the problem is you need to be able to kill heroes in the rage. Like, that's what we keep coming back to, is if your magic immunity wears off and the hero's not dead, you're not killing it. So you need to either get a basher, you need to get something to hold him in place, you need to get either insanely high damage. I just think Deso is a nice choice because it's a lot cheaper now, and that minus armor synergizes great with Feast. So if you get on somebody with a roar, especially like heroes like Bristleback, you know, you can just eat through them. Like, this Bristleback only has 7 armor, so the damage increase that you get from having the Deso is big. But no, he just buys bots. All right, never mind. What do I know? Boots to travel.
Okay, I guess one of those items that's going to allow him to find the most from the map in terms of continuing to farm. And also, I guess, kind of nice in the sense that he can join the potential relocate ganks if the creep wave is pushed in there as well. But all in all, 11 to 10, 30 minutes in as well. I kind of not noticed, but this game, it's been fairly passive.
Yeah, there's only 21 kills in a 30-minute game. It's pretty lackluster. Okay, that Wisp just bought a Vanguard. Is he going Crimson? I guess. Yeah. Has to be Crimson Guard. I haven't seen that before, to be honest.
This is a farm dire.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 90 CS. He's definitely been finding the creeps. I'm a little bit concerned, though. I think this Lifestealer is actually going to be kind of lacking DPS for the next couple of fights.
Oh, the side of VP. They're ready to go down the mid lane. The side of Vega, they want to try and draw their attention to the bottom lane. Ping's coming out on mid for Vega. Vega say, we need to get back and defend. And they certainly do, because VP, they're ready to go to the high ground. They're ready to look to take a second set of racks, potentially after this tier 3. Onto the tier 3 they go. There's going to be a TP back from your Lifestealer. Fortification will come out from the side of Vega. 9 Pasha leading his way forward. Rages straight away, just to ensure they can't catch him out. And, well, VP, they back off. Are they going to look to go straight back in with the next creep wave? It doesn't look like it, and they're happy with that little bit of pressure, just forcing Vega back into the base, because it gives them the space to go for Roshan.
Yeah, Roche is really easy for them to take as well. Bristleback's going to take almost no damage, and you also have G. It's 2,000 health. And the cool thing is they actually buffed the level 4 Vicious Nasal Goo, so it has more minus armor component for Roshan. So that means you just kill Roche just that much faster. And Vega know about this Roshan. Can they contest?
That is the question. We see no one on the high ground. They'd be doing it into a tombstone. They need to take down the tombstone first, and that's indeed what the Storm Spirit's trying to do. And now he's going to ignore it. Goes straight in with the BKB, with the Lifestealer bomb as well. Can they bring anyone down here? No, they've lost Mag already on the Beastmaster. They might lose Storm as well. No one had to zip up to the high ground. They just can't kill anyone here on the side of VP. We're going to see now 9Patch. He turns towards Illidan, but then he decides he needs to run because the damage from G is too much. Io goes down here as well. Now 9Patch, Ancient sealed up. He might be in trouble also. Illidan's trying to chase him down. No one will simply TP out. They do get the Lifestealer out of here. The concussive shot flying through will get raged off, but that wasn't the fight there for Vega to take. Phobos looking for a lucky hook shot. But at the end of all that as well, I believe, yeah, VP, they got themselves the Roshan also, and they got the Aegis onto the Bristleback. So, I mean, I guess Vega felt they had to do something, but that really didn't end up being the thing that they needed to do.
It was the right choice, though, to go for that. Like, they needed to. If they had gotten, like, an Aegis steal on the Lifestealer or the Storm, either one of them, I think they would have just turned that fight completely. Yeah. Unfortunately for Mag, he died without being able to use Roar. So I think he got the book off, but he wasn't able to Roar any high-impact target.
Is this... Oh, the armor toggling.
He's fine.
He's fine. There's going to be a relocate.
Look at how fine he is.
And will be able to help 9Pasha maybe allow him to go back in, because Storm Spirit's turned out they've got G here with the slows, and now with the open wounds as well. They're a little bit timid about going in because they did see a rocket flare coming through. They're not really sure how close VP are, and they'll relocate out. There'll be a hook shot onto Seam of the Slayer. Orchid straight away there from no one, ensuring that the cogs can't get laid down. And it looks like after that, a little bit of a mess between both sides. No one's going to go down here.
Thankfully for Pasha, he is 502 movement speed, so those bots paying off pretty huge. Just making sure he can get out of the way. And he's even going back for BKB. So he is just focusing on being able to stay alive during the fights. Not a bad strategy. Being alive means you deal damage for sure. No doubt about that. And I'm just like, is it enough? Does he have enough farm? Is it enough damage? He sells his drums to make sure he can finish the BKB for this high ground defense. Here we go.
Raw straight away onto GM with a zip forward for no one. Pots the BKB. There's going to be a nice hook shot from Phobos, holding the Storm Spirit in place with the Fiend Script from the high ground. Seeming the Slayer going on to Illidan. We're going to see 9 Passion trying to focus onto G on the left right. Can they bring down G? No, they can. Well, they can, but he's able to deny himself there with the Bloodstone. Still, they managed to force 2 heroes off the map. Phobos will hook shot now again onto no one, who's low on mana. He is able to pop the 1 charges, get himself back up to the high ground. There was a buyback from G, who's come straight back into the fight, but 9 Passion pots the BKB and now turns to try and kill him again. G with the Ghost Scepter will be able to get himself away from the Lifestealer. So 9 Passion turns his attention towards Illidan. Now the hookshot again from Phobos, controlling the Lifestealer, trapping him in the cogs. To 9 Passion pops the rage and tries to eat away at Phobos, pops the open wounds and will run, keeps himself alive. No one. He's been tag teams in. Storm Spirit going straight for the Clockwork, who's been orchestrated up as well. Can they bring down Phobos? Yes, they can. And now they might find Illidan here as well. He's stuck between no one, Mag and Seema the Slayer. They will find the Bristleback. The Aegis is popped, and they've been holding G in place with a Nightmare. Now they just turn their attention to the Leshrac. Can the Leshrac do enough damage to fight up against this with the Bristleback? They're going against 4 of them solo. He's still alive. Now he goes down. They do lose G. Illidan, he's cleaning up a little bit. He's found the kill on Seema the Slayer. Now looks for the TP out, but they've got the pull with the Vortex. No one pulls him in. They kill him as well. It's an absolute bloodbath here in the mid lane. The game ends up equalizing at 15-15. But that fight in a whole, it doesn't even show everything there. There was definitely buybacks coming out from the side of VP. We saw buyback from G after he denied himself and got back in. But Vega managing to defend the base very impressively there.
The 10-second BKB helped tremendously. Like, Pasha was in that fight for so long. Like, he raged, BKB'd, raged again. It's just, it's so much magic immunity that the Leshrac just couldn't do a single point of damage to him the entire time. So one of your highest net worth heroes on the side of VP just pretty much did nothing. He diebacked. Like, he died, well, suicide, like you said, bought back, died, and then they lost their Aegis. The Bristleback died again. I mean, that was a gigantic team fight win for Vega. Like, being able to stop that kind of aggression coming out from VP, they all into that push. And they can deny their tier 3 because it has 9 health.
Things certainly working out for the side of Vega there, and the fact that you're seeing this Lifestealer really skyrocketing in terms of net worth. He picked up the Hyperstone, almost certainly working his way towards that AC, and now he's inside the Storm Spirit. Mid lane, looking to bait potentially here with the Bane as he's out entirely on his own. No one is about, and he's ready to go for it if the side of VP do decide to jump onto this Bane. Looks like Seema's just going to back off, and I'm not going to see anyone find any pickoffs for the time being. But still, this is, I mean, VP need to be careful. If they go for another push like that and lose it as badly as that last team fight, they could find themselves in a pretty nasty position against Vega's course.
Yeah, Vega are starting to get their Storm Spirit more and more farmed, so no one is getting to the point where he has enough mana to do a lot of work in team fights. Like in the earlier game, if you just go Orchid and then BKB, your mana pool kind of suffers, so you're not able to really do quite as much. But because now he has that full Bloodstone completed on top of his BKB, his presence is just that much better. He can go deeper for kills, he has better regen so he can farm faster. There's just so many good benefits to having that Bloodstone in the first place, and now you can see VP, they're feeling the pressure here. They cannot see anything on their own side of the map except for the, well, around the tier 2s, I guess, the mid and top, and then, of course, the river. But that vision, not particularly useful right now.
Oh, and they're just having to clear out this pushed in lane here on the top lane, Vega. Mag's in the base as well. How's he doing after the Blink Dagger in terms of farm? Yeah, he's closing in on his boots of travel on this Beastmaster. VP all grouped up as 5. They're going to send a Rocket Flare out, see if it scouts anyone. Storm Spirit's going to be able to zip away. There's not going to be anyone hanging around here. VP will smoke up. Let's see if they're able to catch out anyone on the side of Vega at the moment. Beastmaster slightly out of the base here. That's about it. Mag needs to be careful here because he could get caught out. No, they're going to draw a line to the top lane. They want to go straight for both the IO and the Lifestealer. And it's up to Phobos, really. It's up to him whether he lands this hook or not. If he gets a hook, they should be able to find the follow-up, and no one on this Storm Spirit. Oh, the zip, zap, zoops. You can try, but
panic zips.
It's going to be a hard one there. Does the job, and he's able to get himself out, and the smoke is unsuccessful there for VP.
It's really fortunate that he managed to get away from that. Even with 8 Bloodstone charges, he'd still be dead for a while, and no buyback. So if he had been the one who got picked, it would have been very bad for Vega. I like the fact that VP were smoking there because it says if we manage to find like a decent pick on a hero who does not have buyback, we immediately get a second set of racks, and that puts us in a very solid position to just win the game. 1 set of racks against Vega's team is not enough. Like, they need to be able to get more out of this, and the longer the game goes on, sure, your Leshrac is still farming very well, but the Lifestealer kind of chews him up right now because the BKB duration is still going to be 9 seconds during the next fight. So between Rage, And then the BKB, you're going to have, what, 15 seconds straight of magic immunity? And that's more than enough to wait the Ghost Scepter out, or maybe even go for Lil and get a lot of work done in that regard. So still anyone's game.
Man, we saw VP there just take the tier 3 and back themselves off and look to try and push down this bottom lane and potentially take the final tier 2 away from the side of Vega. At this point, 39 minutes into the game, but still, there's 15 kills on either side. This is one of the calmer games we've seen in this season of League play.
It's calm, but there's also a lot of tension between both teams because they realize that one or two big team fights can very heavily sway who's going to win. And VP always want to be playing the aggressors here because I still feel like their lineup doesn't transition quite as well as Vega's does into the ultra late game. So by being aggressively positioned, we mean they're on Vega's side of the map majority of the time. And now, for the first time in a while, Vega making their way towards VP's side and able to get free tower there.
Tower's indeed going to melt, and well, it's going to be a question of who can force back who first. It looks like it's going to be Vega forcing back VP as they have to TP back here to defend against this high ground push. 9Pasha leading the way onto the tier 3. Where's your hookshot initiation? We're actually going to see Clockwork coming around from the back lines here.
Yeah, he didn't have a TP, so that's why he was not present at that team fight. I think not having the TP, maybe they saw it, and maybe that's why they assumed they could continue to push like that, because I thought the Lifestealer was actually lingering for too long, and then I realized that Phobos wasn't there. Because if they started that fight with a hookshot, they need to bail him out with a relocate like immediately, and then VP maybe get like 1 or 2 kills off that. But unfortunately, that was not the case. So I guess both teams just waiting out Roshan. It's going to be out very soon.
It is indeed. It's going to be a short respawn here for the sides, and they'll just attempting to scout it out here, hanging around, hoping that it's going to appear any second. He's going to have to wait a few more seconds, though. And looks like he will do that as he sits here. He's managed to pick himself up a Ghost Scepter as well, so just another hero that's going to be a little bit of an issue if Pasha on this Lifestealer tries to turn his attention to.
The next fight is very important for both teams. Like, Roshan can break the game for either team at this point. Roshan can mean VP can just go high ground again, maybe push mid. There's no tier 3 in middle lane, remember that. So when they're pushing up high ground, it's a lot easier to get into a better position. And that second set of racks can just be the nail in the coffin that VP need to be able to seal this. And likewise, if Vega get the Aegis up on a Storm, it's probably the best Aegis carrier in Dota, period. And then you already have your Lifestealer, who is making his way towards his next item, and he's still sitting on buyback gold right now, so he hasn't completely finished up the Assault Cuirass, but he will have it soon.
Here we go, VP into the pit, Illidan, G and FNG looking to take Roshan. It looks like Vega, they do want to try and contest it. Obviously last time it didn't go too well. Maybe it can go a little bit better this time. They've got a bit more in terms of items on them. Pasha's going straight, but he's going to get hookshotted immediately by Phobos. The Roshan's already gone down. Bristleback's got himself the Aegis. No one looking to find something, but he had to zip himself up to the high ground. 9Pasha trying to do work against FNG, but FNG soul rips himself and will be able to walk away. 9Pasha looks to TP out, but it's not going to work. He gets taken down. And once again, another Roche contest tried by Vega, but it doesn't work out. They lose a hero, and off the back of that, VP are going to be ready to push.
Well, thankfully, they do have buyback on Pasha this time. So it's not going to be like top lane where they just lost their Lifestealer and couldn't buy back and then lose racks. Because I think, had that not happened, that misplay, I think Vega would have been in a much better position in this game overall. Like, of course, if you keep your racks, you're going to be doing better. But their team scales a lot better, so for now, VP maintaining their advantage with the Aghanim Scepter now up on the Shrek and a second Halberd on this Clockwork. This Lifestealer is going to have a hard time, I think, getting kills.
This is going to be a very hard defense for the side of Vega. We saw them able to do it, though, the last time in the mid lane. Can they achieve something spectacular again this time? Illidan going in. He's going to get slowed up by the ball, and he just turns his attention straight towards the racks. They just want to find the structures here. And with the damage from the Bristleback, they could certainly give it a good shot. He's getting dragged in, but of course this Illidan does have the Aegis. There's going to be a roar onto G the Orchid as well. Phobos hook shots through to Mac, but it doesn't really matter because Mac's already roared. He doesn't really care. FNG's been taken down. They'll find Illidan as well here. Oh, he's still alive. He's there. He finally goes down. He's got the Aegis ready for round 2. Now 9Pasha going in onto G, but the second hook shot from Phobos holding back the Lifestealer. Can they keep G alive? No, they can't. 9Pasha will be able to bring down Leshrac. And now Illidan, he's been fiend script by Seam of the Slayer, but all the TPs are coming out. There's a buyback from G as he wants to get himself back into the fight. Pasha's slowly trying his hardest to dismantle the side of VP, but he just can't do it on his own. BKB's going to be popped by Illidan. Solo's going to be able to relocate Illidan out. No one did find the kill onto Scarif Mage, but he needs to be careful because there's a lot of damage coming out from G. No one's going to zip forward aggressively onto Illidan. He's got the backup of Pasha and Mag in this mid lane now, and they might be able to find the Bristle. He's fairly tanky, but not tanky enough. They do kill the Bristleback here. Now, do they go for more? 9 Pasha's charging forward here with the Rage, but it looks like Phobos is out of there. G heading towards the Radiant jungle. Can he get himself out in time? Mag? He's got the blink. Has he got the roar again in a bit?
He's so fast. He's 522 movement speed. They're going to catch him.
Yeah, they've got the open wounds onto him. He will get forced back. He's got the Glimmer Cape. Do they have detection?
No, they know. They have 2 gems. One for each eye.
The hookshot was actually blocked by G, so the stun doesn't get onto Pasha. Now Pasha goes on to DK Phobos. Solo as well coming in, giving him that boosted move speed. Blink from Mag. He's got the roar again, and this time it's onto G. Mag does lose his life, but maybe it's okay. Maybe he's just said, Phobos isn't dying. Phobos! He gets out! And now Pasha just had to turn towards FNG, but at FNG, he's got the Ghost Scepter. It comes off, and can Pasha even kill FNG? Oh, it's just not Pasha's day. Everything's getting taken away from him. He's going to turn towards G. He's still alive, but G gets taken away. Pasha, he just infests him and says, I'm done, and then he dies. That's got to be the worst day in the life for a Lifestealer. Now, Vega, the backup has come in from no one. They want to try and find G, but G's fine. He's going to head up to high ground. They do kill him. No one is able to finally kill G. Phobos has trapped no one, though. No one's able to get off the Bloodstone Suicide. Seam of the Slayer has been ancient sealed up. The concussive shots and the arcane bolts flying through. Phobos forced down himself forward. They'll kill the Bane. They do manage to kill 4 heroes on Vega, but oh, that Lifestealer, you got to feel for him.
Yeah, a little ham, maybe, you know, just chasing across the entire map from your base to the enemy base. They lose a tier 4 and half of another one in the process while this entire chase was going on, so at the end of it, maybe not worth, I don't know. I think that if the Lifestealer had just backed up and not gotten so greedy to go for the Bristleback kill, they would have been in much better shape. And of course, hindsight is 2020, you know. After seeing what happened, you can easily say what would have been the better choice, but I don't know why he dove the base. Like, I'm thinking to myself, all right, yeah, he forced him back. You know, he gets a kill, whatever. Just
tempting him with all these heroes on 10 HP, like, come and get it. And, oh, no, you don't. No,
it's just, like, so empowering to be 522 movement speed and just be hitting that hard. You're just like, yes, like, we'll always go in. CIS Dota at its finest.
Oh, there we go. This time, 9 Pashi's down for 27 seconds. Illidan, he's ready to push. He's got the backup of Undying. Also on the sidelines, Phobos looking for the hook shot potential. There it is onto Solo and no one. He's going to be able to seclude no one, but there's going to be a roar from Mag onto Phobos. Can they bring down Phobos? No one. He's down to half health. He's going to zip himself back out. Phobos is going to live here with the Glimmer Cape. They look to turn their attention towards the rest of the racks here. Fortification will come out from the side of the Dire. They have got 9 Pasha back in a few seconds. TP straight for no one. The Nightmare set up onto Illidan. Now here we go. There's going to be G being vortex back towards the Storm, and Storm going forward as well. There's a fair bit of damage coming out from G. Now the relocate from Solo, but he's going to die straight away. They've lost Seam of the Slayer as well on Bane. 9 Pasha, he's having to back up as well. There'll be a buyback from Io. They don't have the Bane for this fight anymore. No one is out of mana. He's got to head himself back to base. VP were able to claim the remainder of the racks there in the mid lane.
Okay, so Solo TP'd in and got obliterated by Leshrac, like just exploded to the AoE damage. He lived for what, like 3 seconds maybe? A little bit less than that. They don't defend the racks, which is really, really bad now because all VP have to do is crack that tier 3 and Megas are almost inevitable unless for some reason Vega can start finding some really good engagements outside of their base. The Bristleback gets a Basher on top of the items that he already has, so prior to having Basher and AC, the Bristleback has a very hard time just going toe-to-toe against a Lifestealer when he's raged because he has no way of actually disabling him. The Lifestealer can just run away if he wants to or whatever. But now, if he has Basher and he's sitting there attacking, there's a good chance that during the rage duration, he's going to have a point in which he can't deal damage, which is what he wants. Like, he wants to be able to crowd control him during his magic immunity because no one else besides Phobos can actually do that. So the item progression on the Bristleback going to be very good here in the next couple of engagements, and I'd say VP are looking pretty solid here to take this game.
They're certainly looking in a very healthy position with 2 racks being down on the side of Vega. It's, I don't know, Vega have got to have almost a miracle in terms of team fights now at this point because each fight, they seem to be able to hold out, but at the same time, they always come out losing something. So we see in the mid lane, they're able to kill the people on the side of VP, but VP, they find the racks.
I don't think that's
not good enough at this point.
Yeah, I think that Vega's draft was actually fine this game. Like maybe one of the few drafts where I've seen a Lifestealer and I didn't think it was a terrible pick. I thought it was actually quite smart, the way that they ran it. But just between the Force Staffs and the Ghost Scepters and the Halberds, it's really easy to build around Lifestealer in terms of items. So you can just hard counter them during the fights. Like force staff away whoever gets the open wounds on them. Then once the rage is off, you go for halberd spam, force into BKB, then you go scepter. Like, you need a diffusal blade, honestly, to be able to actually focus somebody as that hero. And that's really painful because you don't really want to have to spend the money on the item in the first place. The other thing you can hope for is that your Beastmaster gets a roar off, and VP now smoked outside of the base.
They're ready to go. They're going to just hang around here. Vega keeping themselves up in the high ground, up in the base. Diffusal blade now on your lifestealer, so he is going to be able to deal with those ghost scepters coming out on the side of VP. Just looking for the hookshot initiation from Phobos, and they might find it. Pasha comes out first. Will rage himself back off.
Oh, he does have diffusal, all right.
Yeah, he literally just picked it up.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll see what he's able to do with it. No one's zipping straight in, and now they're going to go on to G's being sucked up as well. He's able to get himself forced up to the high ground. The Glimmer Cape's there as well. Watch the Ghost Scepter. They'll be able to diffuse it off, but still, they just can't get him range. And Pasha taking so much damage here from the Leshrac. He's going to go down, and that's your lifestealer down for 90 seconds. This is not a great position for Vega to be in. Max stuck in the tree line. He's going to fall here as well. He hasn't got buyback either. 2 heroes down. Illidan hitting away at the tier 3. There'll be a nightmare to stop him for the time being, but this isn't great for Vega. There's going to be a hookshot forward onto no one. No one will maybe kill DK Phobos. He gets the organ onto him, but G's just walking into the middle of it all, finds a stun onto Solo. Solo just pops and explodes. 3 heroes down on Vega. They do maybe lose Phobos. They will lose Phobos. No one trying to do his best. He is on a godlike streak, bless him, but he's going to go down here. 4 heroes down. GG well played is called, and 15 minutes in, we finally see VP take the game, leaving the series 1-1. And what a performance at the end of the day from VP. Very impressive stuff. And I think we've got to say hats off to G's play on the Leshrac. Dominated the laning stage and really came into its own in the early point. And they dealt with the lifestealer fantastically.
Yeah, the diffusal blade just came in a little bit too late. There were a couple of key points in this game for Vega where they could have easily just not taken a fight or had a buyback, and the game would not have been nearly as lopsided, I feel. Because at the point where they went top, like, I don't even think VP were expecting to be able to Rax there. Maybe they were looking for a kill or two, maybe they back off, you know, just whatever. But Pasha dies and doesn't have buyback, and then you just lose your Rax because he just finished up his SNY when they were pushing up high ground, and that's more than enough to buy back at that stage in the game because, you know, 20, 50 gold for the Sage. So there was another point where Pasha dives inside of their base, dies again.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of things that could have gone differently, at least from the lifestealer perspective. Now, the Storm played great. I think no one had a really fantastic game. He was a big reason why they were in that game for so long, and everything else was just, they gave away a little bit too much.
Yeah, they did. And I think at the end of the day, it was nice to see the Lifestealer being picked up, and arguably one of the stronger performances we've seen on the Lifestealer in competitive recently. So, I don't know, there's what could they have done that would have made the game better for the Lifestealer? Obviously, you were happy with the way that they drafted it against the lineup. Do you just feel it was the fact that VP, they just had all the tools to deal with him? He was never going to have a good game that match at the end of the day.
Well, Lifestealer typically never has a good game, to be honest, because it's so easy to build items against them. Like, Ghost Scepters come out, Force Staffs come out, Halberds come out, and then it's just like, as a melee carry, you only have like 6 seconds with Rage to kill somebody, and then if you have BKB, you have a little bit more time. But at the end, if you have Force Staffs, you just get kited. Like, that's really the biggest problem with the hero. So what they want is, they want the synergy between getting a Roar off on somebody and the Lifestealer, or the Storm goes in with a pull and the Lifestealer, or a grip and then the Lifestealer, right? Like, there's a couple of combos they could do, but without both of them and no Basher, he has a very hard time actually sticking to his target. At the very least, he's going to need a Wisp Tether. And when you're magic immune for like 10 plus seconds, you can't re-tether the Lifestealer if it breaks. So yeah, it was a little bit wonky near the end, but I think it could have worked.
Yeah, and even though it was still impressive from Vega that they managed to stand up against VP, and obviously we saw them take the first game. Second game indeed does go to the side of VP Polar, so the second series of the day here at the ASUS DreamLeague ending up a 1-for-1 between the sides. We'll be back with the next series, which I believe will be NIP versus Empire. That'll be coming up very shortly, but first of all we're going to send you over to a quick commercial break and then back over to our hosts to see what they have to say about the game. But for myself and Draskell, we'll catch you in a bit for the next game.